Hey guys, I think what we're going to do is we're going to do an entirely different build. Alright, well my neighbor brought me his truck. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting these round parts off here, around the lights. We're going to be dropping the frame down to about so high, it's going to go back, wrap around the side of the truck, and pretty much make a square type of thing. Then put in some front pieces right here, and probably one up there too. And then I want to do some stuff down here, put some expanded steel in these spots right here. So that's what we're going to do to this front end here. He told me that I've got full artistic creativity on this thing, so yeah, cool. And the steel that we're going to be using is some 1.5 square tubing. That's what he wants to use on it. And yeah, we got one piece of 1x2. So yeah, it looks good. He wants it to collapse, which is a pretty good idea anyways, because bumpers, well, the bumper isn't going to collapse. That's made out of 2x4, what is it, 5/16 inch thick, something like that. So that front, what you see right there, that rusted stuff area, that's a heavy ass section right there, and he doesn't want this top to be that heavy after I get done doing the T-Man spice to it. So let's rock and roll. Alright guys, well, we were able to cut those pieces off, and this bar in the middle here that was positioned right there just bolted out. It just had end bolts that stuck in the sides, so we were able to take that out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put a bar in right here going across the top, and it's going to have a little kink to it, and instead of just making it a regular square, we're going to put it as a diamond. So I'm going to cut out a notch, bend it, smack it on the table to bend it, and then just weld the area that I just cut. And I'll show you what I did here. Okay, so here's one. I welded the ends. What I did is I took a piece of 1-inch square flat stock, drilled a hole, cut it off, took a nut. I don't even know how big this is. I want to say 3/8 maybe, something like that. 5/16. Yeah, I think it's 5/16. Anyways, I stuck it on there, put the nut on, or the bolt through the back side, welded this on, then took it and welded onto the end, and then took the bolt out. So I have a nut that's inside there. Yeah, that don't look very centered, does it? But that's alright, because see how it's bent? Yep. All I simply did was took my cutting blade, cut down through it. One of my thin ones. Where the hell are you at? Here we go. One of those. Real thin blade. Cut down through it. Smacked it on the table. I had to cut a little bit more out of the very end here. Out of this side here. So what I did is I cut down all the way through, point to point, cut straight down, and then on this side over here I cut down maybe half the distance of the pipe, half the distance. So the only area that was actually connected was like halfway here around the corner, and then halfway over here. Then notched out, then cut out a little bit more out of here, and then just literally took the bar and smacked it on my table and made the bend. Then I welded it. See, I only welded it right there, all the way around, right to there. So this here didn't have to be welded because I didn't cut that area. Okay, so I'm going to clean this all off. We're going to go put them on and see what it looks like. Alrighty, it's a whole new day. So I got these bars done. Hopefully there's not too much glare on this. Done. Now we put in the expanded steel, tacked them behind. and literally another grill on there. And now what I'm doing is I'm going to attempt to try to figure out a way to get that bar right there underneath, but I think I can't weld on this thick stuff, so I'll just cut out the pieces that need to be cut out and they're lengthen them, and then he'll be able to take them down to his brother, and they've got a real welder. They've got a big old stick welder that can do this real thick steel. And this stuff is real thick. Look at that. But yeah. So that's where we're at right now. Okay. Now, I'll put some caps on here. Yeah. There we go. See, notch that piece out now. Cut up here. Cut up there for, cut these. Cut the angles. And then cut down through that bend. Now it's time to go test her out. See the two holes right there? Right over there, the ovals. This here, slide right up into there, and then it'll come up, and then we will weld that up underneath there. Kind of a half-assed way about doing it, but you only have a limited amount of tools, so yeah, we're only worried about the pressure from underneath here colliding. So we'll be welding this, probably put in some angle iron up here in the back. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Anyways, we'll be putting in some angle iron right in here, going up to go up underneath the bar here. And then we'll be welding all that together. So we'll have that one. And Jesus, these fucking things are heavy. And that one. Look at that. So, yeah. Because you can see, I don't know if the camera's showing it or not, but you can see how he's hit stuff in his radiator right up in here. See that big old dent? Crunch. Going down and stuff flying up and hitting it. Yeah. Okay, so got the caps on this side. Also put in this bar here. Made it so that way this flat side was even with this flat side instead of doing it the other way. Instead of making this flat side even with this, didn't do that. We made this side flat with that flap. Might put in some expanded steel in here. I don't know. I mean, he kind of wants to, but I don't like the idea because the lights. You know, I don't want to get pulled over by the cops saying that your front rack is obstructing the lights. So I don't know. But we're also going to be putting in some pieces of bar. They're going to go across here. Some 1/4 inch solid rod. Go across here. Maybe put some in there. I might do that. I don't know. Forget about the expanded steel. Whatever. But yeah. Alright.